been hacking up the line.
All right, welcome to the pre Pan-Am episode, I guess.
Miami. I'm excited for it.
Yeah, what? So, what you start us off? I think that always works better.
So is this how many Pan-Ams have you done before?
Last year I went and I just got married, so I had been out of karate, no training for 2 weeks.
Nice.
And then I competed. Obviously, it wasn't as wonderful as I would have hoped, but this would be I think my third year there in a row. So my only 3 I haven't been before. But it's an awesome tournament. I definitely love the tournament. Love the area. So I'm excited.
Pan-Am's one of those ones that's just for some reason always just went right by it myself.
Mm-hmm.
So it's super exciting to hear how you do.
Man, I can't wait. And I got the 30 plus division. I'm gonna try to do the open weight as well, but I'm not sure that I'll make it in time on Friday. I'm not gonna push it and rush and stuff. I want to focus on Saturday, focus on the 30 plus and the 18 plus division, and hopefully bring home some gold, maybe an overall. That's the main goal.
Yes, sir.
So, how close are you to the points race?
In the point series,
Right, somebody with a couple.
and they did a couple of updates, and to be honest, every time they update it, it's totally different than what it's been. So, unfortunately, it's pretty much a joke, but I'm up in the top 3 somewhere. It just fluctuated.
I glanced at it, and it
Yeah.
looked like it was the top 3, but it looked like someone would have to completely just miss or
Yeah,
something. It looked like
yeah.
it'd be hard to catch unless somebody was with.
Yeah, I'm not really sure if people mid-year buy the membership and then put their points in, or how it really works. But I was at the top points-wise in the 30 plus. But then they changed the weight brackets around a lot. At some NASCAR events, there's 184 and under to 170, 170, 184, and then 185 to I think 200. And then at some of the events I've been to, it's just been 189 and under. So it's like I kind of got points in 2 different.
Is that the different age groups?
That's not age groups. It's
Really?
different weight divisions.
Really?
Yeah.
So different. They have
They've-
NASCAR tournaments. They've had different.
Yep.
That's
Yeah,
frustrating.
it's kind of frustrating. It's it just is a little bit different. Just pick something, stick with it. For me, I'm 188 walking around, comfortable training weight. But man, dropping to that 184, it's like I can't. No more soda, no more sugar at all. For the last week, I've tried to just drink, a massive amount of water. Tried to cut out some fried foods and stuff. And I'm on weight, but
How's that transition that you were running? You were running some, and you haven't been
yeah,
running as
I
much.
haven't been running as much, but I plan on picking it back up. I kind of fell out of habit of it, man. But it never really did anything, weight-wise for me because it's just sweat,
Okay.
But it did almost
That's interesting.
make me tired, made my legs real tired. I can't say that I can, for me, it was like I had to learn how to run and how to keep running, how to get tired and push through pretty much,
Fair enough.
In sparring, I know how to do it, but once you're out there and running, it's like, man, it's tough. It's another mental thing. And I feel that, kind of learned how to do it, but yet I kind of got comfortable in it, got stagnant in it, and just left it.
I always hated running because I felt like I didn't get anywhere. I could ride a bike and I could ride to the next town.
Yeah.
And I was seeing things, and
Right.
that was nice. But if I'm on the road, one time I ran from the farm 8 miles to town.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like I accomplished something.
Right. Yeah, I enjoy the run around here, but more or less, I'm not gonna run by myself.
Right.
At the end of the day, I want somebody that's running next to me that I either have to keep up with, or my favorite, the one I have to slow down for.
Right, yeah. I'm so bad at pacing myself because
Yeah.
I tire myself out. I need someone to help pace me.
But I can't tell necessarily directly if it's, made my fighting worse or better, So, plan on picking it back up. I just got some more running shoes.
Okay.
So, maybe we'll get back to running.
Some of the best running advice I got was from Marty, actually. He said, you're running to get better at your karate, but when you go out there to fight, you're never fighting at the exact same tempo.
Mm-hmm.
So he made me consciously aware of like while I was running, I would just all of a sudden just burst into a sprint for like just 10 seconds, and then slow it down and then pick it up, almost like I was just chasing a point.
Absolutely,
you know?
absolutely.
And I felt like that transition helped me. It's the only way I can run.
Yeah, I understand that. I do that, you know, when we run from a road or whatever, we'll run to the stop sign or the RV, or, you know, we have landmarks and we're like, come on, let's go once we get there, you know. We don't ever really, we try not to stop and brake, but we'll slow our pace down.
Yeah.
There's hills on the track that we run out there. There is a track that we can run, but we normally will run to the track, run around the track, and then run back, which is uphill.
Right.
And it's good, man. Different terrains, but you know, I'm just a firm believer in fighting is gonna put you in fighting shape. You're gonna point fight. You need to, you know, you need to be fighting. You need rounds. You need to be able to spar a lot of rounds back to back to be able to competitively spar, especially. You know.
How many rounds do you think you spar a week? We used to have the 100-round club. I think it was 100 1-minute rounds we would aim for.
I don't know. Yeah. So yesterday, Mondays, you know, I only spar 6:45, 7:30, and I don't get every single round in. Normally the first 3 rounds I don't get in because I'm trying to get everybody ready. But then I try to stick to the rest. What is it, like 20 rounds maybe? So maybe I'm like 15 rounds.
2-minute rounds.
2-minute rounds, yeah.
First
So-
30, 40 rounds.
Yeah, something like that. And then Tuesday, I did a 30-minute session nonstop with like a 30-second break, 2-minute rounds for 30 minutes. So it was a couple rounds. We 3 o'clock, we do some drills, and then we spar for 30 more minutes. So, I mean, a lot of rounds, but the thing is, like, tonight, the rounds that we got were you guys, other adults. You know, I mean, to me, even when I fight a kid, I still get good work in, but it's like, it's just not, you know, it ain't fighting the Bailey Murphy rounds, you know? And he was here, we put some rounds in, you know? Like, I think we did 40 rounds back to back that night. You guys, you know?
That's, yeah.
A lot of fun.
That's very different.
Yeah,
Very different.
yeah.
I know, talking about running again too, I know Marty once said he would run 10 miles, and each mile he was actually thinking about his opponents.
Really?
Yeah, so he would think about like the 10th best person, the 10th ranked person,
Oh, wow.
the 9th ranked.
Right,
So
so
by
the
the
number
worst round, by the worst mile, the tiredest mile, he was thinking, how do I beat the top ranked competitor?
That's a great idea.
Mhm.
Kind of visualize things.
Right.
Push
So
that
they turn
mindset,
into a monster.
right.
I think that's what I have to like keep myself from doing. Like I have to not see red,
Right.
but maybe I do. You know, that's one of those mindset things. It's like preparing yourself to go to war in a sense. You know, like you got to be willing to do what it takes. And unfortunately, at Diamonds, I felt that I fell short of what I was there to accomplish. You know, and it's like I never leave a tournament. I say I never. I've left plenty of tournaments this year. Just upset, like pissed off, mad, like emotional, like an emotional wreck when you travel all the way to California to compete and you get beat and hurt in the first round. You know, like that will put a lot of mental stress, like, and it just. It's like, it's hard to enjoy other things afterwards. I don't want to do anything, I just want to go home, you know, like, but luckily, you know, I don't just dwell in my sorrows. I'm able to get over it, but it's been, this year I've noticed it's gotten worse because like I'm training harder and harder, and there's still plenty of events that I go and I get beat first round, you know, and what's the most frustrating is when I get beat by somebody that I know I couldn't beat. And that, you know, it was like maybe it was a mind thing. It wasn't a physical ability. It wasn't even, you know, it was just like the switch wasn't turned on. Bailey talked a lot about him, you know, him being nervous before a fight. And it was normal, you know, to be nervous. Shows that you care about something, was his words. But then you just got to flip the switch. You just got to become, you know, that alter ego of you almost. You know, it's like you got to leave your feelings off the map. And I'm bad about bringing them in, you know, friends and people that have beat me in the past. Even it's like, damn, I fought this dude for 2 years and he's beat me every time. Like, you know, you just keep going after it. I mean, you're never gonna beat him if you don't keep going. But it does get frustrating.
Did you ever by chance watch The Last Dance?
I've seen it.
The Jordan documentary.
Absolutely.
Nice.
Yeah, I like that movie.
Did not Save The Last Dance. We talked about this before, but The Last
Lord,
Dance.
I don't know, maybe not.
Okay. The Jordan documentary, the Michael Jordan documentary.
Yes. We talked about this, and I watched the first half of it, but I did not finish it.
Okay, so there was. I don't know if this was the first half, but there was the episode where Jordan gets himself a mindset, and he likes to sometimes even imagine slights, and he just completely worked himself up over this guy who he thought like didn't shake his hand or something.
Yeah.
And he embarrassed the guy like very badly. And then years later, a reporter asked him, well, "Did that happen?" And he just kind of smiled, like it didn't even happen.
Right.
It's, but how he put himself in the mindset.
That's right. And it almost black out. You
Yeah.
know, it's like I have trouble disconnecting because I love the sport so much. I want to be, in it, in my mind to be clear, because I feel that like when I'm here at the dojo, I know what the goal is and what, and it's a different feel. I mean, yeah, we get competitive and we yell and fuss and whatever, but it's like at a tournament, it's showtime. It's highlight time. You need to put in the work to the table. Be hitting somebody, winning. And I've left tournaments feeling that maybe I got outclassed. I fought, you fight Bailey Murphy in a tournament,
So that better or worse. If you're like you look at the match, you go, I was never gonna win that.
Well, yeah, you can't feel that bad. I mean, you still like I could have done better, but it's like losing to somebody that I feel that I'm better than. And maybe that's a bad way to put it. Maybe that makes me a bad person to think I'm better than somebody. But in my mind, I know I can beat this person. I watched my fight. There's things that I could have done better. There's things that the judges could have done better. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. You get dealt a card. You can give it back and get another deal. But you just gotta keep playing to win. So my goal is to win. I want to win. I want to win some more grands. It's not about the money, but I always say I want to win some money.
Money feels meaningful.
Money, I went this year to tournaments and won first place and left madder than I could even tell you, because I left without the money. It's like, oh, you won, that's awesome. Great job, here's your trophy. And then you're looking at this guy over there counting $800 bills, and you're like, that dude's got my money. That was when it started really, I started feeling the loss. Like, I don't like it, I don't want it. I want to be, priority is being healthy and being able to come back to the school and be able to teach and live, but it's something that I would like to find that there's some rhythm or something in there,
I guess I just feel like the best people show up for the money, and it might be like my childhood, my history, but I felt like the money is what people show up for, so that's,
You can slide by and win a division, but you got to beat the other divisional winners then, and that's where, especially at an international event, that's where it I think experiences plays off. One of my friends that's on the NASCAR circuit, Ronald, he was telling me that he did NASCAR for 2 years and never won a single match. And I'm like, damn, bro, I ain't far behind you. He's like, but then it just clicked one day. He's like, I've been doing it long enough. I know my worth. I know my self. I know how much I've done and how much money I put in. How much, it's like almost a feeling of deserving it. Which may create that attitude and that charisma. But I don't know. Mine just tunes in and tunes out some days. Like some events, I show up. Maybe a local event, and I'll fight the best I've ever fought. And then I'll go to Diamonds or I'll go somewhere else and just completely drop the egg. It's like, well, figure it out. And trial and error is the main thing. I ask advice. I've asked a lot of different people advice and gotten a lot of advice on, how to get in the tournament mindset, how to be prepared physically, with my body not being tired or sore. There's just so many different ways that you can do something. It's like, you can not eat red meat the night before and eat a salad and or it's like
super high dimensional space. A lot of different.
That one went over me a little bit, but I feel like it was right. Did you slow it down for me again? Maybe spell that out across the bottom of the screen.
Sure. I mean, just like one of the if there's a lot of directions you can move to get to that number of sands in the universe, number of atoms in the universe problem really quickly. You have 10 different things on this axis, but I have 10 different things on this axis.
I'm kind of figuring it out.
Just
I see what you're saying.
Really quick.
And I always I was fighting in Florida on the stage, and it's like, well, I fought on the stage before, but I wasn't nervous to fight on the stage, but I'm like, damn, I gotta eat. I need to eat because I've been fighting all day. I've got 7 or 8 matches, and now I'm gonna have a set match on the stage tonight. What should I eat? I called my buddy Matthew, he cooks for me and stuff. What should I eat? He's like, oh, eat. I don't know what to tell me. I just need somebody with a chalkboard and, walking around and keeping count of it, but I think there's so much that goes into your body. It's hard to ever pinpoint. This is what caused me to feel this way.
The states that you've passed through to get to that point over the past week.
Right.
There's central distribution that you've created over the past month.
That's right.
It's really hard.
Life.
One time I was meditating. I'm sure I look like a complete idiot, but I'm just like, I'll try anything. How do I get myself to the mind state?
That's right. Where was I going to go with that?
Meditating.
I'm still trying to think of how you said that big long word a second ago.
Dimensionality.
Super dimensional space.
There you go. Alright.
That was a good one. I learned that too tonight. It's stuck now. I like it. I'm gonna use it. Do you think? So one thing that I noticed for me is the more I started teaching and the more I was teaching, it's like the harder it was for me to just check that and just compete against this other person.
Right.
Whereas when I was competing and stuff before I really started teaching all the time, and especially before I got experience, I was fine. But the moment that I started putting myself in my kid's shoes, like if I was this kid, what would make sense to me, and really truly giving back to the martial art, that all of a sudden I found myself, and I've done it several times, we'll stand there in a tournament fighting, and the whole you'll do something and I'll just be thinking to myself oh man, you should do that, that would be really good. And then I'm like,
analyzing this
don't do that right now. Yeah. Do you ever find that it becomes a struggle at times to check the teacher stuff before the round, or?
I'm always locked in on teacher mode. It's funny because I left the mat earlier to try to sell the uniform to this woman like I was a mess, you would think I would just never talk to anybody. I just had my phone in my hand. I was trying to hold this. I was opening the bag up because I'm trying to teach this class out here, But I also want to sell the uniform. But mainly it's I'm in teacher mode when I'm here. When I go to a tournament, I don't necessarily want to say it's teacher mode, but it's coach mode.
Right.
And if I have a student there, which Hayden is always my coach because he's always at the tournament that I go to. He's committed, he's just one of the ones that is consistent, in competition. It takes a lot of money to be consistent. It takes a lot of willpower to go. Because just like me, he has good days and bad days too. So, but at the end of the day, he sits in my chair, and it's I'm always thinking, how can I coach him to coach me better? Almost, it's I want him to be a coach and understand how to coach, but then I'm not saying it takes away from my fighting at all, but I just feel like I'm always on, my people around me. I'm locked in with them. Our wavelengths are on the same wavelength. I'm looking towards them, listening for them, as opposed to just somebody else, maybe another coach. I kind of lock in on that instead of trying to teach. While I'm fighting, it's just more or less I don't know, trying to coach myself, coach somebody else, trying to get coaching. It's tough sometimes, but it doesn't. I don't think that affects necessarily the outcome of my match as much as something as simple as a diet. or something that I ate, or something that I drank. You know, maybe. There's a lot of variables. But I would say as far as like teacher mode is inside these walls. You know, I can get competitive, but I'm still constantly looking around, looking at the parents, looking at, I mean, it's kind of a overview, kind of like a lifeguard. Right? Rick always said, man, you got an indoor lifeguard job, and there ain't no pool here.
Right.
You know, it could be the easiest job in the world, but, you can easily just zone out and, be in your own world. And really, in my opinion, it's like, in teacher mode, you have to be in everybody's world. You have to be thinking, what is John thinking? What is CW thinking? Because, if John's mad at you, and I can kind of pick up on that, maybe I can come over here and simmer things down and, smooth things over a little bit, so that way we don't have any, you're mad. Just sit there and you can read body language, especially on kids, but I mean adults too, especially when you fight, because you can tell when somebody's pissed off when they're fighting. And that's, or when somebody's not applying themselves, I mean, that. But the kind of coach mode, and that's the thing, it's like, it's at the tournament, it's just coach mode. There's no really fight mode, beast mode, like kill, whatever you want it to turn into.
We have 21 minutes.
20 more?
21.
21 minutes?
Yes, I think we were aiming for a 20-minute episode. I think we got it.
We smacked it.
Yep,
We smacked
great
it.
episode.
Time.
Yep, not bad. Maybe we'll have some Grand Champion Award, at least.
Hopefully we can do the post Pan-Ams and be
Yes, I think
So real quick, are we releasing this week or next week or?
probably this week since it's going into the Pan-Ams. Why not? Yeah, it should be this week.
Alright, sounds good.
That's
'Cause
free, yeah.
Well, I was gonna ask what adjustments you had made that we can expect at Pan-Ams, but if we're gonna release this before, then we're not gonna talk about that. It's gonna be a big
Man, it's
surprise.
simple. I don't feel that it would really tell anything, but after a long weekend of training and a lot of rounds, a lot of bout karate, and just it's a karate filled weekend. Which, what is a weekend without karate? I'm going to be bending my knees a little bit more and getting a little bit lower to the ground. And
I noticed that tonight. That was
yeah,
very difficult.
I'm trying to keep my knees loaded up, and just not be so popsicle stick leg. I'm a kicker, but bending my knees doesn't mean stop me from kicking. So it just kind of level changed me a little bit, and hopefully it'll get my blitz a little lower and my movement a little bit quicker.
Make your kick come at a different angle.
I'm gonna eat me a Snickers bar before too.
They're guaranteed satisfying.
Hey.
Can you say that, or is that a trademark?
I don't know. Maybe I should edit it.
My bad.
We're not getting money for it. We just need Snickers. We need funds.
It's like this EMIRP drink.